Welcome, conscious creators, for the part back. Blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the part 2 of this journal entry gym stuff I was talking about. I might give it a different title, but we're gonna get right back into it though. So I started to create this little system. My systems are so abstract a lot of the times, but it's just mapping my thoughts. Sometimes it's hard to catch a fleeting thought. Thoughts are here, there, and there. Sometimes I get really great ones that I catch them, pin them down, and start kind of like dismantling. Okay, what does this mean? What is this? And then you end up with stuff like this. So in this case, excuse any other noises you may hear, either my left or my right. Things. Let me get the microphone on. Everything gonna get cool, but all when it comes, no pressure. Okay, so I've split up all of my IMs in 3 different categories. That is physical, emotional, mental. Especially if this is already your thing, you know how that goes. The mental shapes the emotional, the emotional shapes the physical, and then, so on. Or you can go the other way, What you see can trigger a feeling, and your feeling can trigger the thoughts, and then all of your thoughts, combined paired with everything else, shape your future, But anyway, that's all that. Let's get right back into this part though. So let's just break up, to me, all of the IMs in 2 parts. So there's the IM that is for me, or the ideal IM based on my ego. Everything is the one, but if you now include ego in, now there's the divine one, and then the ego, which allows us, it gives us limitations so that we can be individuals who we are. If we stayed at the one, we'd never be able to experience YouTube and being able to talk to one another, because we'd already be the one. So thanks to ego, we get to all experience our own version of the one. So take the IM, split it into 2, call it ego, call it IM. However you want to, whatever the real terms. I don't even want to say whatever the real terms. Whatever the other theories and philosophies are about what I'm saying, if it fits, cool. If it doesn't, it's not for you. Right now, it's just what works for me. However, if you have an improvement or a piece to add to what I'm saying that you think that I could really use, give me a comment, because I would really greatly appreciate that. Back into it. So I have IMs, 2 of them now. The divine IM and the ego IM, which now has 3 parts, because there is the mental divine IM and the mental ego IM. And there's the divine emotional and the ego emotional IM. And then there's the divine physical and then the ego physical IM. 6 parts. They all have different eyes. There's the mental with the wiggly eye, because whatever, hypnotizing. The regular eye, the regular physical eye. And then the emotional eye, which just doesn't have any eyes, because it's really all just feeling. That's my interpretation. Now we're gonna get into how we identify each one. So I can identify my positive, we can call them positive and negative IMs. Not that it's bad, but just opposite, opposing each other. The positive IM is when I find the positive emotional IM is when I find myself in joy, love, and acceptance. Right? Well, point blank. If I'm not feeling joy, love, and acceptance, then there's a good chance I'm leaning over into the influence of my negative IM in the emotional plane, which would be anger, pride, and fear. Fear, which I can just say a quick one to that. Fear is like, I remember when I really feel like gathering or hoarding resources. Like sometimes it's like I want more and more of a thing, because in case it runs out. That's like fear thinking. Rather than, like at work, I might take a lot of paper towels and put them all on one side of the restaurant just so that we have enough if we run out. But as I'm taking so many on this side of the restaurant, I'm not thinking of the other side of the restaurant and what about they run out. So now they go looking for napkins, and maybe they have to put another order in, which that's my concern. If they're late on an order, we still got napkins, versus leaving the napkins there and then making it, if I really care about the napkins, then making it my best bet to speak on it to someone who can put in the orders earlier, so everybody wins. versus just me storing away napkins to the side for if something goes wrong, then I win. So obviously it's not my win because the napkins are for the store, but you get the point. That's like fearful thinking. Like, let me hoard it over here so if something go wrong, I'm good. A more, the better way of feeling about that would be to accept that either sometimes we have napkins, sometimes we don't. We'll deal with that when it happens, or accept the fact that I recognize that we have a bad napkin situation and I should do something about it if I want to accept that weight of that responsibility. Just like that, I can get pulled between the two. Physical. The physical I am represents resource, beauty, and connection. So that's everything from smiles to hugs to kisses to, you know, beautiful plants to organization and resource, having abundant of whatever you need. You know, if you're thirsty, there's always water present, stuff like that. The opposite to that, the negative I am, who is good for me when I need to recognize something. The negative I am, it represents itself in lack, pain, and disaster. I'm sorry, distasteful. Disaster works too, but things that are distasteful. So, you know, it could be, you know, everything in my life is ideal, and then like I mentioned, maybe the trash is taken out. That's something that is a representation of what needs to be edited, because that distasteful experience is what it made me accept my chores. Like it showed me where I could have paid attention to the duty, right? If every day you clean your work area and you sanitize it, if you were to not do that one day and you were to see some germs form or some stains start to show up, then it's the stains that remind you to do the cleaning. And the cleaning is what you like and what we're a lot of times proud of. And so that's the reason why, once again, the negative is a reason that is there to help. But as far as the entity go, you know, there's the ego version that's aiming at everything that's not right, and the divine version that's aiming at everything that is just so great. So lack. If I'm seeing that things are, you know, not lining up for me how they normally are, when I go to reach for water, it's always water. And if something like that is not happening, then there's something in my worldview or in my spirit body that needs to be, you know, adjusted so that pour of abundance is unaffected. Lastly, the mental body, the mental I am. The positive representation of the mental I am is positive thinking, ease, and simple thinking, simplistic thinking. You know, that's kind of like when we wake up, you know exactly what you want to do. You know, it's, oh, I want to do this, and then when I'm done that, I want to do this. And if I feel this way, I might do that, or I might do that. You know, it's not about being so specific, but it's just about being clear with whatever you want to do. Everything when I say you, I really mean me. But if you resonate, then that's perfect. An example of my mental I am in a 9, in the ego way, or in the not highest self, is through anxiety loops and judgment. So like negative feedback loops, you know, just kind of like going down what ifs that have no connection to, going down what ifs that are not related to the ideal. So it's like a waste of energy going in the wrong direction, wasting time, wasting energy, and then creating negative karmic experience for no reason. Anxiety, judgment, you know, just everything having to do with like thinking, and then using that thinking and thoughtful like using thinking as a resource and not using it in your favor. If everything you think comes to you and we're not thinking the best, then you're not attracting the best, and by that you're just attracting least. You're attracting less than what's ideal, and then you're gonna, at least for me, gonna have a complaint about what I'm attracting that's less ideal. So now not only will it be the mental plane that's not in alignment, my physical won't be in alignment because I've attracted from my mental. And when the physical and mental are in alignment, imagine how that might make a person feel, you know? So everything is so connected like that. You know, this is just a strategy for me to not really use the book like, okay, what page am I going to answer this question? what side of my brain should I be using to handle this problem? So, of all that being said, the I am, the emotional, physical, and the mental I am, having the two bodies, the positive and negative, expression of itself. I came with an easier, still based off this, an easy way to identify which spirit body am I dealing with, and then let's start with that. Which spirit body am I dealing with? If I'm in my emotional, positive is being present, negative is clutter. Meaning like a lot of feelings at the same time is to me the first sign, a representation of I'm probably not in my spirit body, the right version. Then you have the emotional body that is positive. So it's in presence. I'm not thinking about so many feelings, having so many feelings, because I'm in my present moment, my present. Life is good, life is abundant, it's great. And without having to hold on to those specific descriptions of life, it's just knowing. There's no bad way to go about it when you're just here. You can just be here, like right now. Like if you can be in a position right now where you're able to even watch this video and you're here, there's a lot to be grateful for breath, for, just life. Having a choice right here to say, which video do I want to watch, this one or this one? Choice is beautiful. So once again, my emotional body is, I connect with my highest version of that when I feel present. Keep staying on the topic of present. I will apply presence to both the physical and the mental bodies. When I experience presence in the physical body, that is, once again, I am connected. Before I can think about everything that I have, there's automatically knowing everything that I didn't have, or everything that I once wanted that I have now, or everything that I don't have yet that I know I will get. All of that has to do with the physical, and that will come also. So then we have the clutter. Same example in the emotional, where there's just so much going on. In the physical, clutter, when there's so much going on. That's an example of, okay, there's an unbalance somewhere that needs to be addressed, which is why there's the causing of the clutter. Because then what happens, the opposite of the clutter is the presence, which is, everything is organized, or everything is ideally put. If I want a red room, then I'm sitting in a red room. But if I'm saying I want a red room and the room is blue, that is not the same accord. And so to me, that's where it's like, okay, to solve that issue of the physical, it's not a solving, it's just a letting it be. If red is what I want and blue is what it is, then I have to find that balance in me that just accepts the blue, because the only reason it's there in the first place is because of me. I can't just strip the blue off the wall at that moment in this example. Can't strip it and just say, okay, make it red. I just gotta accept this is what it is. And maybe something in me will change my desire to where now I desire blue. And so maybe what was once at first the worst thing was actually the best thing, and I just had to change me or accept what was in me to know that that's what it is, So then we go lastly to the mental, and just like the clutter in the mind and or being present, when I feel anxiety especially, which is just like all of the what ifs, good or bad, really. I think to have a good what if or a bad what if is all pretty much out of your control, my control. So it all still comes down to, okay, we got mental power right now. What are we going to think about? The best thing to be thinking about would be simple things, observing what's right before us. And while that's partially the physical, the observation of this mental and saying, hey, you know what? Those are beautiful flowers. I affirm that they continue to grow bigger. Oh, look how beautiful the sky is. It's amazing how we all get to share the sky. It's all those thoughts all together that just create a more beautiful experience to observe things and to feel things from that angle. Just like how you can have a beautiful, assortment of thoughts, there's like disaster in the mind where there's so much going on that you can't even accept the beauty of a flower, because you can't think about the beauty of the flower because you're thinking about everything else that has yet to happen or has already happened. Because if you're walking down the street, the only thing that's happening is you walking down the street, regardless of what may have happened 5, 10, or 15 minutes ago, or what will happen tomorrow or a month from now. You only really had the present. So yeah, just like, let's say an example is like right now, I know you guys may hear the music in and out that's playing. That normally would be here of adding the clutter. But there's a certain acceptance that's now created in the knowing of these loops that says, you know what, as I make this video, I was inspired in this moment to make it, and if I were to focus too much on the sounds that are all around, then I would have lost the inspiration to create this video at this point, which then would have, been pushed back into whatever later date that you may see this video and so on. So all of the thoughts put together and, all the thoughts put together and put on paper is one start for me getting that, clarity. But I love it when I can tie it all into those affirmations. And we're gonna get right into those affirmations in the next piece. Had to break it down in the clip so that way I ain't getting lost in all the sauces when I try to go back and review the stuff myself. So stick around for the next one if you're for it. I'm for it, I hope you're for it. Yeah, many blessings your way. Vibrate higher, more life.